Good afternoon. This is Tony Dattino doing my live with Tony on Saturday afternoon. I'm doing this a little bit earlier as we've got some plans at 2:30. So I wanted to do is get my live with Tony done and not leave it for Saturday evening, which is when I guess most people are having a Saturday night dinner out watching or home watching football. But in any case, it's been 1 week since we had our first virtual memory championship, and the feedback that has been received by Lumosity and MIT and my own USA Memory website and emails have all been positive. So collectively, Lumosity, MIT, USA Memory team, all very, very pleased with the event we had last week. And being our first event, there were certainly glitches and bumps and things that came up during the course of the afternoon. But we started at 1 o'clock, which was our first challenge, and then we finished up at 5:30. So it's a 4.5 hour event that has been filmed. We downloaded it, and now we're in everybody's in the process of doing little bits of it and taking the 4.5 and taking selective chunks of it and putting it out. So each of us have got our own thoughts of what we would like to pull, and we'll share it, and we'll start posting these out. So for example, excellent presentation being given by Dr. Jeffrey Beck from Penn State, and we'll take that and we'll make that one clip. We had Chris from Columbia, I'll get there. He did a talk on the neuroscience and a study that was done with one of our previous mental athletes. We had Robert Ajamian and boy, I'll get there. My head's got so many different things I want to share with you. Robert Ajamian from MIT. So we had a number of different speakers that did 7 to 10 minute bites. Michael Dattino did a really great job. People really got to understand a little bit more of what we call the loci method. We'll take that and put that as a clip. And then everyone that on the recap yesterday thought that the Tea Party event and the way the 5 people that were in that event was just superb, and how that got held and how that moved through the process was just absolutely fantastic. So we'll have that clip so that people in our audiences in the future will understand, what a Tea Party event is and the fun of it is. But what most people were saying is that that particular event is so pragmatic and practical to be used every single day in our lives. And how do the people that had to go through that event, how did they do so well? And what skills do they practice? And so McKenna Good, who was our champion, 18-year-old student from Virginia Wesleyan, studying nutrition for marine life, was our winner. And 18-year-old, and so where did she study? What did she study in terms of memory skills and techniques? How well did she, how did she do the things that she did so well in that particular event? So we've had questions about that, and of course there's a lot of people want to know, since that event is so practical to everyday life, remembering a person's name, remembering a number. Now again, we use iPhones, right? We've kind of dumbed down our brain as we use technology sometimes, which is something I've talked about for years. But here were people that, to the contrary, did not dumb down their brains, actually increase their brain power. Let me put this light on. I should have done and get this up. I'm noticing a bit of a shadow in my face here. And so how did they do it? So remembering their hobbies or something personal about them, a pet or a car, favorite foods. These are the things we varied. So when we've done the Tea Party in the past, we try to vary some of the information. So people are remembering numbers and digits and lists of things, words, certainly a name and a face, something intriguing about them that might make you remember them, some facial expressions. So it's a fun event, and so an audience that sees it finds it to be, boy, I wish I could do that. And when I'm socializing with people at work or when we're networking, now even on Zoom, it's a little bit tougher as you're Zooming and webinaring, being able to study and get the features of a person's face and always get the clarity of what they're talking about. But the point of the matter is that the feedback we get on this every year, and we've certainly got a lot of it this year on this particular event, is this is a skill that immediately transforms into everyday life, into how you're meeting people and conversations we're having, and how to build trusting, confident, and strong relationships. And in our world today, as we learn more and more about our own brain health, what we want to do, and we recognize the importance of having good, strong social interactions. And whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, being able to have the confidence that you can socialize with people and interact with them in a positive way, where you have the confidence to be able to have a 5-minute conversation. In this case, they were 90-second conversations in a direction with the Tea Party guests. It just translates to people as a, boy, I wish I could do that. And the answer to that question is you can. And it continues to be our most popular event in a memory competition. But back to our conversation we had yesterday. So again, what we want to do is take that event now and put that out into our YouTube, Facebook, USA Memory, because that was so popular, and therefore people can see it on a regular basis and begin to appreciate what their own abilities are and what they can do. But the good news is everybody was enthralled, and then we're optimistic about the vaccine, but realizing we'd like to hold our next event somewhere between April and June of 2021. And we'd love to be able to do it live. Unfortunately, we're not too optimistic. We collectively, the team that's put this event together, we're not optimistic right now that we're doing much of anything live without a better crystal ball of what the vaccine's going to be able to do and what that will enable and make people feel like they're going to be able to do in group assemblies of any sort. So we're thinking we're going to do another virtual, which then opened up possibilities of how do we take some of our traditional memory games and mix them with the Lumosity suite of games and create a qualifying round with the hope that possibly by the fall of next year, boy, we sure hope so, by October of next year, we can bring finalists into a live stage. And if not, we'll bring finalists into a virtual and make it just a half day with just the finalists. So those were the conversations. And then Seth Gorson from Lumosity came up with an idea about, gee, maybe we can do regional events, and maybe we can do multiple virtuals, and maybe we can do them on the same day and bring the top people from each regional event to the live stage or virtual stage in October. So we had a lot of good ideas. One of the biggest issues we had was the change of numbers in terms of what people initially signed up and who eventually got to participate. So we kicked around making sure people know the difference, clearly are spelled out the difference between Pacific Standard Time and East Standard Time, East Coast. In this year, we put the instructions out to mental athletes to compete 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we had some confusion with people looking at that and thinking Lumosity Pacific Time, and so we had a whole bunch of people sign in at 4 o'clock when the event was 3/4 over. The other thing is in the instructions that went out, we had instructions that said there's a waiting room at 12:30, and a whole bunch of people thought that's when the start of the event was, and so when it didn't start until 1 o'clock, there was a whole big fallout of people that came there. So we had all those conversations yesterday, how to register people more efficiently. But you know what I've said to people, this was our first go. And from day one, I said, if we could have 100 people compete in this would be so amazing, and it would be just a whole exciting event and result. And we had 100 people that participated in the event. So from everyone's perspective, we all learned something. We all had a way of contributing. I am just so delighted with the support and the collaboration we had with MIT, and what Catherine was able to do in coming on to help us out with the Facebooking and the Zooming and the broadcasting of it, and helping us control the rooms. We had a great amount of support from Robert Ajamian at MIT as well. He just has a really great focus on what we need to do and getting the speakers that would then come on board. Seth Gorson, Bob Schaefer from Lumosity, from day one. This has been months in the planning. So every Friday, boy, we've been planning for months. And we're on the call and we're sorting things out and how to get things out. Well, we've learned a whole lot now from this. And of course, my team of Michael Dattino and Karen Pinson, and pulling all of the different registrations and notes out to people and MailChimps and what have you, and pulling that all together. So this was a team effort, and this took a lot of good brain power to really make the event turn out as well as it turned out. And it is on Facebook. For those of you that have not had a chance to see some of it, go watch it. Michael tells me you can get through certain parts of it, and unfortunately you have to get through the first 4 hours to get to the best part, which everybody seems to agree was the tea party, which is at the very end, which was where we found our champion. And just seeing what people were doing and how they went through that event. So, but we're going to take clips, as I said, and we'll make that easier. In the meantime, I'm spending time now with Michael Dattino, and we're refining the Maximum Memory Mastery online course, and we're getting a lot of nice feedback on the work he's done there. And I think anybody that wants to learn how to improve their memory, and whether you want to become a mental athlete or whether you just want to improve your memory and your cognitive function, he has done a really superb job on that, and he's developing 2 new courses, which he will put into a brain power series, which I think is as good as anything anybody can find in today's environment, that really helps them with what are the things you need to do to enhance your overall brain health, what are some of the fundamental lessons that you can use to improve your memory, and then how can you use all of this to really enhance your learning and your education and your comprehension of things that you need to do for professional and or academic credentialing. So I've got a lot of good things going on, and the important thing that we all have to continue to remember is we're still in the craziness of a pandemic, and we need to just keep doing the things that science at least is suggesting we do, which is certainly washing our hands, certainly keeping our mask on as we're out in close proximity of people, and clearly distancing when you are outside. And so we're going to have a challenge this holiday season. So now let's go through that. In closing, I am going to be back on Monday. I'm thinking right now Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'll definitely be back on Monday, and I'll just update in terms of Wednesday and or Friday, or Wednesday and or Saturday. So have a good afternoon. Enjoy your day and your Sunday tomorrow, and we'll see you on Monday evening.